Hello everybody and welcome to week 2 of Formula Sundays. We are bringing you the highlights of the second race. It's Austria, Spielberg, and let's jump right into it. So here we are at the race start, lights are all on and now they're out. The two McLarens on the front row get away quite well behind. It's getting a little bit tight, several cars going wide into turn 1. And there is slight contact as well. Rito there sliding off the track, but in the top 3 nothing has changed so far. However, Holly Show may have a look up Kurtz's inside here, going into turn 3 here. And a little bit of contact, but everyone gets through nicely. And now there's an AlphaTauri in P3. Kurtzer is not done with that one yet though. Looks around the outside, will look for the comeback move here. And does go ahead into the turn. And will ultimately not come out of the turn ahead. Behind that, we've seen Doomato overtaking Inferno Lewis there for P5. And yeah, apart from that, everything has been playing out nicely. As we see Kurtzer spin here. big mistake by Kurtzer here. Fabian will probably be happy to have Kurtzer's car ghosted there as he's racing with the, bugging car of Rito, who has having slight internet connectivity problems. We are on board with Fabian Gaming here, who gets an amazing start on the medium compound, going past Nuve in the Alfa Romeo immediately, and now has Ares on the left of him, brakes deep into the inside of the corner. Makes it well as we jump over to Doomato and see his move on Inferno Lewis here, going down the inside of turn 3, and now it's a little bit of a drag race. DRS is of course not active, but ERS will probably be spended in a good amount here. Going down the inside here, braking a bit earlier, Lewis maybe a little bit late to the turn, and Doomato comes out ahead. One lap later, we see the leaders having a go at it. Brandenburg and Siegel going side by side through turn 1, giving Inferno Lewis the opportunity of having a great exit. DRS train going past the leading Siegel, and now Brandenburg and Inferno Lewis side by side to turn 3. Going down the inside here is the AlphaTauri of Lewis, and he goes ahead for now. The two McLaren, of course, are following up closely, but no chance to make a comeback move just now. Siegel tries to get his position back of Brandenburg here, and does so successfully down the inside, returning to P2. We will have a little look at this from Inferno Lewis' perspective again, as he's getting the slipstream past his teammate Holly there, making room for him on the main straight. And there we see the superior exit he had, and now pushing through just behind the McLaren here, having the excess speed. Down the inside he goes, gets good traction through turn 3, and is now easily ahead and can defend his position. The two Aston Martins battle their way up the second straight into turn 1. Here we see Fabian Gaming starting on the mediums from P11, making his way up into P7 now, past his teammate. Easy pass. As we enter lap 5, racing has really kicked off at the top as well now. We see a move of Holly past Brandenburg here, going down the inside into turn 3. It's a little bit tight with Siegel there, the second McLaren, just ahead of these two. And they go side by side, both with DRS active, into turn 4. Will stay side by side in the braking zone, and will end up on corner exit with a side by side drive as well. And now a little cut into turn 9, where Brandenburg loses his car, is now sitting on the left side of the circuit, and he will rejoin the track in P12. Coming into lap 6, just a few meters ahead of what happened just before, we have Rito going down the inside of Doomato here, and can't quite make the turn afterwards. Slows down quite drastically, and Fabian Gaming has to take evasive action here. Rito will get ported back ahead and directly behind Doomato here due to the lag, as Doomato is losing his car. As we immediately cut to the two Aston Martins, Fabian Gaming and Yapsinio here. Yapsinio gaining the advantage on the softer tires, going around the outside into turn 3. Aris there in the Williams just behind, so much quicker and almost crashing in there, staying behind afterwards. We jump into lap 8, where we see yet another overtake. Into turn 3, this time around it's Kurze on the Red Bull of Toasted. Kurze, of course, has been one of the quicker qualifiers, but due to early race shenanigans, dropped very far down and goes past easily. As we jump on board with Holly Show, seeing their teammate spin out of turn 7 again. Inferno Lewis there losing it into turn 8, and as he rejoins, almost colliding with the rivals of McLaren here. Into the 9th turn here, Lewis has yet another insecurity, going straight into the pits for new tires, as he is the first of the top guys to stop. However, he is not the only one of the top guys having problems in turn 9 there. Brandenburg with yet another spin on his way into the pits as Newf goes by. We take a little bit of a jump into lap 14, where we have the same matchup that we've seen in the early laps of this race. Inferno Lewis and Brandenburg here. It is a reoccurring theme that the AlphaTauri and the McLaren are fighting each other. Inferno Lewis gets the slipstream down the back straight here, goes down the inside and goes past pretty easily. Had a way better exit here and will stay in front. Slight tap on the rear there by Brandenburg, but both cars keep it under control. And we jump straight into lap 15, where the same battle will repeat itself. This time it's Brandenburg pushing up on Inferno Lewis. We already see yellow flag in sector 3, and by the time they hit the apex here, safety car has come out. Brandenburg has just passed Inferno Lewis the very second before that occurred. And we will have a look at the replay from Toasted's POV immediately, as we see Toasted here approaching turn 10, being quite quick on presumably new medium tires. And then he loses it into turn 10, hits the wall, front right wheel comes off, and he's sitting stationary on the main straight, getting out the safety car. Quick cut to lap 17, when the safety car is returning into the pits. Quite a couple of drivers here on the medium tires. Some of them don't need to stop one more time, some of them will come into the pits once more. We see Fabian Gaming now in P3 on the soft compound, as he started on the mediums. As safety car, we see here, has the lights off. Holly is in the lead here and responsible for the restart. Takes it very slow there. No collisions, fortunately, as Holly picks up the pace and we go racing immediately. Williams already side by side into turn 1 as Doomato goes down the inside of Aris. Spin here by Brandenburg once more, as he was forced wide by Fabian Gaming, defending his 3rd position. And we see Inferno Lewis now down the outside of Kurze. Can they go through? They have Rito ahead, but remember, Rito's internet is booked, so he may as well not be there, as we see Kurze driving straight through in a second here in an effort to remain in the 5th position. But Lewis takes it away. Kurze will be P6 for now, and we will have a look at the turn 1 incident between Fabian Gaming and Brandenburg here. Evasive action towards the side, and when rejoining the track, Brandenburg spins out. Fabian Gaming stays P3. Into lap 21 we go. Inferno Lewis has already passed both Aston Martins, and now it is Yapsinio's turn to make a move on his teammate. Round the outside, Kurze will try to follow, as he has his front wheel behind Fabian Gaming still, as we have Doomato up in the mix as well. 4 German drivers getting involved in wheel-to-wheel battle now. And the Williams and the Ferrari try to go around the outside. Doomato misses his braking point though, and will concede the position to Aris, the other Williams driver here, as Kurze takes the position away from Fabian Gaming. We will have another look at this situation first from Fabian's rear here, looking at Yapsinio advancing into turn 3 and Kurze making the lunge around the outside as well. As Fabian has a little bit of a lock-up, we see Doomato getting a very good exit here, opening the DRS, quickly gaining speed as we jump on board with him here. And now we see him missing the braking point, taking evasive action towards the outside. Fortunately, nobody was hit in the process, and we jump on into lap 23. On the main straight, we have Holly Show now, trying to go around the outside, it seems, of Seagull. Side-by-side racing here. Holly will take it slowly. A little bit of a poor exit here as Inferno Lewis joins the battle. 3 wide up to turn 3, and Inferno Lewis overtakes both cars on the spot as he goes first, wheel banging between Holly and Seagull here, as Holly will try to stay ahead here, has the DRS on Inferno Lewis, so has it a little bit easier to defend side by the AlphaTauri potentially, as Holly and Seagull are very tight into turn 4. Seagull will stay ahead of Holly for now though. Lap 25, and we're back in the midfield as we have the 2 Williams coming up. Aris now back behind. Doomato will try to change that shortly though, as we go up to turn number 3. Aris will have an eye down the inside. Doomato coming through with a switchback move though. Aris kinda losing control a little bit there, moving off track, and Doomato will stay ahead for now, chasing the Aston Martins ahead of himself. As we cut 4 laps into the future, Doomato and Aris have now closed the gap to Yapsinio here, and Yapsinio defends well into turn 3, but I think Doomato has the better exit here. DRS activated, ERS probably as well. Doomato moving side by side down the inside into turn 4, and cutting off Yapsinio here to go ahead into P5. Lap 34, the late stages of the race, and we see Inferno Lewis and Seagull having a go at each other. Seagull here with DRS moves to the outside of turn 4, trying to go around there, but gets cut off by Lewis here. Switchback move does not work in a turn like that, and Lewis stays ahead as we go to Fabian Gaming and Noof, as Fabian has the new soft tires on the car. Noof of course on old mediums. Easy time for Fabian to go around there on the second straight and up into P8. In lap 35 we see another battle for the lead. Seagull here once more will try to go around the outside of Inferno Lewis. Does not succeed though. As we jump to lap 36, where the same scenario will repeat itself again. Holly Show showing up there in the background. And Seagull and Lewis are now the ones battling for on-track victory, as Seagull gets a very decent exit out of turn 1 and is closing up rapidly to Lewis onto turn 3 here, and goes down the inside, will be ahead for now, and pushes Lewis down the back straight. We cut to the last 2 corners here. Lewis and Seagull side by side into turn 10, and Lewis loses his car on the start-finish straight, hits the wall. Seagull crosses the line first, and then we see Kurze here just overtaking Lewis meters before the finish line, before he comes home in 3rd. We will have another look at this from a different perspective here, sitting on the finish line and seeing the car of Seagull crossing it, and Lewis spinning out there in the background, getting overtaken by Kurze in the last second. And this is Aris, I think, who's a lap down, coming over the line, and now once more from yet another perspective, Lewis into the wall, losing his front wing there, or at least a good bit of it, and losing P2 on the finish straight. Yapsinio is coming over the line 7th, but because of the time penalties, track limits are really difficult on this track. He goes up into P4, however. The 3 men on the podium are Seagull, Kurze and Inferno Lewis. And that's been it from us. Thank you for being with us and staying for this race highlight of the second race of the season 9 in Austria. See you next week.